Hello everyone, my name is Nishit Rastogi and I am Assistant Merchandise Manager in Post-Production for SCS3 LF India office. And I recently did a course on sustainable fashion, and it was very interesting, intriguing, and I believe it should be shared with all of you, and it's very important for our fashion industry. So what is sustainable fashion? Or let me put it this way, that how sustainability is important for our fashion industry. So the answer to this is that the denim which you are wearing or the t-shirt which you are wearing directly impacts the climate change. Now it is very hard to digest, but actually this is the truth, and let me explain you how. In the year 2016, approximately 1.2 billion denims were made in 1 year. So that is like 1200 million pieces of denims. That's the size of business we do. And what does it take to make a denim? It takes cotton, fiber, and as all of you know that cotton is one of the dirtiest crop to grow, and it takes approximately 16% of pesticide, which is produced again globally for a year. 16% of pesticide, then a lot of fertilizers, urea, carbon emission. So that carbon footprint of your denim, that is the first carbon footprint of your denim on the climate. After that, the fabric is dyed, tons of water is used, garment is produced, electricity and fuel is consumed. Then again it goes into washing, sandblasting, bleaching, tons of water and chemicals are used. That untreated water goes to the nearby rivers and then from there to the ocean, again damaging the environment. So this is just one case of denim which we are talking about, and our fashion industry is huge. It's not just denims, it is apparel, it is footwear, jewelry and cosmetics. So overall, the fashion industry is estimated at a value of 2.4 trillion, and that is a lot of zeros. And GDP wise, 2.3% of the global GDP comes from fashion industry. So in a way, if we compare the GDP of countries with fashion industry, then fashion industry is the 7th largest economy in the world. So that is huge, and therefore it has to be sustainable, because it's such a huge industry, it impacts the environment. So sustaining the environment is a necessity right now. Now, what are the barriers when it comes to sustaining the environment? What are the barriers of sustainable fashion, and what is our role to make it happen? So let's start by saying that this fashion industry is fragmented a lot, it's complex, and it is hard to control. So here is where our job comes in, because it's such a fragmented industry, a lot of manufacturers, dyeing plants across the globe, and we are one of the oldest supply chain company, ethical and responsible. So let's say Every Denizen, as you must be knowing that Every Denizen is a huge trim label company. So recently they had a patent on a technology by which they can produce plastic stickers and polybags from the waste plastic which normally goes to the ocean. So they take the plastic from the plastic bank and they produce stickers out of it. So that knowledge is with you, with me, but not with a lot of manufacturers and the low-time dyers, printers. So we are the person, even the brands don't have knowledge for that, some of the brands. So we, being the supply chain partners, we can always make them aware of the initiatives which are being taken by the companies like Every Denizen and other companies. So by making them aware, maybe the brands will adopt these, and because it will add to the value addition of this. So this is one thing which we can do. The other thing is the role of consumer. We are consumers also. So what is happening right now is that in fashion industry there is a lot of throwable fashion culture. Now what is throwable fashion culture? It's basically a kind of consumerism where a consumer buys a product, wears for a couple of times, washes it off, and then throws in the garbage. So the lifetime of the product is low, and its wastage to the environment. Other is the fast fashion. You know, a lot of poor and cheap fashion is popular these days, poor quality and cheap fashion. So because of that, there is a lot of overconsumption and wastage. I would like to share that last year, I think in 2019, approximately 80 billion garments were produced in 1 year. Now 80 billion is a big value. So such number of garments means a lot of it is getting wasted, and that that impacts the environment because it all goes in the end as a wastage. The third is the brands. Now the brand also have a role in sustaining the sustainability. What the current business model which is adopted by the big brands or most of the brands these days is a linear business model, in which what happens is, like from the last 20-30 years, they are following a linear business model, which means they manufacture a t-shirt, then they sell the t-shirt to the consumer wears it, and then they dispose it off. So that is a linear chain of flow of events. So what we can do is we can provide the knowledge to brand that they can adopt a circular business model where the same thing happens. The t-shirt is made, you sell to the consumer, but the consumer does not throw it away. The consumer wears it and gives back to the brand. The brand gives back to the manufacturing plant where they repair it, recycle it, renew it, and then resell it to the consumer. So it's a circular business model, which is not much popular these days, but this is where the industry has to go to really sustain our environment. So hope you like the video. It was informative, I hope, and thank you for listening.